Welcome to this edition of DIY3DTech.com. In this episode, I've been experimenting with creating some product for Etsy. And one of the pieces that I really liked is I think most of you out there in the 3D printing community know, is you're printing something out and it kind of gets halfway through and you see the lattice structure created by the slicer for the supports. There's a certain intriguing look to that, and I mean, this is the look here. So one of the things I was actually thinking for a while is, you know, hey, I could write an OpenSCAD program that takes the shell of this and creates it. And then it just dawned on me one day, why don't I just not have it put the, you know, top and bottom layer on it, and I'll get that look from the slicer itself. And that's what I did, and it has actually come out pretty cool. So I'll put a little bit up here in the corner where I'm using Cura, and all you have to do is set the first top and bottom layer to 0, and this is what you get, because obviously bottom layer, top layer, and if both are 0, this is all it does. Now this is printed at a 5% infill, and one of the interesting pieces, or pieces to be aware of though when you do this, and you notice that I've kind of, let me get in the center here, cleaned up a couple of the pieces here and around here that aren't so pretty, but the way that the slicer actually does it, and you can see maybe a little bit if I get it in the center here too, what happens is the slicer doesn't think these should be that aesthetic, or at least apparently in Cura, and so there's both stringiness from the retraction as well as what I'd call some false structures in here. Now, I've taken an X-Acto knife and cut some of these out and tried to clean them up with a heat gun, and that hasn't worked so good. So again, this is more of an experimental piece in my book than it is a finished piece. But I wanted to share this with you because I think, especially if you're going to do this commercially, which is something that I want to do, because the cool piece is I got a rocket here for an example. It's sort of my thing, rockets. But you could take, and have somebody's name spelled out, and then have a bottom piece like this. You notice I've added this bottom piece to provide stability to sit on. And you could do the same thing for someone's name or a birth date or whatever you want to do. And you get the same kind of infill look, which is great to sit on, a mantle or some sort of other shelf. Very interesting knickknack that you could customize and sell on Etsy. So I wanted to share that. But if I were to do that, and I probably will do something like that, I probably would go with something like Simplify 3D. Now I'm going to experiment with Cura a little bit more to see how I can control the actual slicer settings and see if I can reduce some of this abandoning. So if I got to clean up a little bit, it's okay, but this piece down here, a couple of these pieces are pretty significant pieces, and especially this one in here I kind of left so you can see, and the same thing kind of holds true down here. But all in all, I'm really happy for a first prototype how it came out. So anyways, if you're thinking about wanting to come up with some unique look, or you're looking for a product for Etsy or something like that, this could be an interesting alternative because it gives a nice visual appeal. You're not trying to make it something, hey, it's a plastic printed rocket or name or something like that. And it has sort of an artistic Art Deco value. Now, one of the things I personally like is a bit of the, what I call the Art Deco or modern approach to the look of something like this. And this really gets it. So hopefully I've inspired you a little bit. Maybe start your own Etsy shop, come up with an Etsy type product. If you got comments, hit me up below. I'd like to know what you think of this. Maybe you have some other ideas you'd like me to try out. If you do, hey, hit me up in the comments below. I'm always open to trying something new. And don't forget the swag shop. Speaking of swag up there, subscribe button will be coming if you're a subscriber. Thanks. And we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.
Please click like below and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date on all of our projects.